Hello, hope y'all are all doing well. It's October 17th, and today, once again, I'm back. So currently we are looking at some pretty heavy snowfall occurring in areas of Indiana. We're going to start off by talking about that, just by looking at pretty much where we could see snow for the rest of the night and into tomorrow. And then we're just going to briefly look towards our next, like, big deal storm system. Uh, That's pretty much all we'll be doing. Hope y'all are all having a fantastic Monday. Uh, and let's go ahead and get started. So this is the current radar. So we're looking at northern Indiana here. Right over Fort Wayne, we can see, especially to the north of Fort Wayne, we have some very heavy bands of snow. If I play the radar out, we can see just pushing straight into this area here. These have been dumping snow for quite a while now. Looking at reports across that area, we can see this is the latest report at. I think that's the latest report that was at. No, we had one at 9:25. We had 2.5 inches. A 2.5 inch report in northwest Fort Wayne. At 8:15, we had 1.3, a little further south. Then 0.5 at 8, also in southern Fort Wayne. The highest report we've had was 3.8, and that was as of 8 p.m. So, I mean, maybe around 5 inches in the ground there at that location now. So, some pretty significant snowfall accumulations in Indiana for October. I mean, it's not that often you see, like, this pretty significant snowfall in October. So, yeah, and looking at kind of what we could be looking at for the future here. So we can see those bands of snow right now in the HRRR. And throughout tonight, what is expected is those bands will kind of diminish, but we'll still see several bands kind of maybe focusing a little further west of Fort Wayne into more like central Indiana. And we can see those bands pushing south. Temperatures will be pretty like just above freezing, or as we get into like tomorrow morning, it will be freezing, about freezing, across that area. And so that's going to kind of lead some of that snow maybe even accumulating down all the way into Indianapolis. We'll see if Indianapolis can get anything, but also the HRRR indicates snow showers all the way into like southern Kentucky from this. And then tomorrow we have a couple more like a little bit more widespread precip. It's a little bit more light, as it's not really as strong of bands. It's on the backside of this low as well, though. But also maybe some more snow mixing in some areas, even in the afternoon tomorrow and into tomorrow night. So this is not just like a one-day event. And also, I mean, wind is a pretty big deal with this, too. I mean, tomorrow we're going to be looking at wind gusts of, 40 miles per hour in Fort Wayne. Due to that, due to the being on the backside of this low end with the pressure gradient. So yeah, and also like looking at accumulations here now, I mean, still we're looking at maybe some areas picking up almost a half foot indicated up by South Bend. So the HRRR last night was actually pretty right. I can't look at it because can't go back far enough, but I didn't really talk about it a whole lot. I did mention it though. There was a pretty significant band staying up across that area of northern Indiana, which did verify. It's definitely verified so far. Several inches of snow in that area northwest of Fort Wayne. So that is the snow in that area. Now I want to talk about the northeast. Now we're in a little bit more of a zoomed out. Like I guess. I mean, I don't really know what to call this, but like a zoomed out sector, I guess. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so yeah, so tomorrow afternoon, overnight tonight into tomorrow, we could be looking at a little bit of some lake effect bands along like areas of PA, along Lake Erie, and areas in New York. Right along the lake, you might get rain or you could get snow, but there's a lower chance of that snow accumulating due to slightly warmer temperatures. But inland, though, you could get some accumulating snow, and even into tomorrow, we can see some pockets of snow mixing in. I'm not expecting really any significant accumulations in those areas until we get till tomorrow night. We can see we have several bands setting up across areas of PA into western New York, and on other models too. I'm just curious if these other models show that. The NAM kind of shows it. Yeah, we see a little bit more like significant snowfall in that area too, all the way into the afternoon. So yeah, I mean we could be looking at some pretty significant snowfall in that area as well, all the way until Wednesday mornings. This is just like 36 hours, I guess. Snowfall accumulations are a little bit. I mean, we could be seeing a little bit of snow in Ohio too, maybe like Columbus. I don't think accumulations will be too significant. But then up towards like northeast Ohio, into northern PA, northwest PA, and western New York. Good couple of inches maybe in that area. So we'll see. It's looking like a pretty snowy couple of days though. Also, northern Michigan could pick up a little bit more over the next couple of days. So you can see maybe 4 to 6 inches in some areas. Yeah. Now, briefly looking at the, I'm gonna look at like a little bit out here. So this was the storm system we've had for a while. I'm not gonna be talking about really the cold, but we do have. I'll pull that up real quick. We do have a lot of freeze warnings and freeze watches across the south right now. Freeze warnings across, like, not really the south, but in areas of the south. And freeze warnings. It's going to be, I mean, we're going to be seeing our first freeze likely across a good portion, and not really, like, too far southeast. We could be seeing temperatures in the 30s, like the first frost. But up towards this area, maybe first freeze, which is why we have freeze warnings, and I do expect these to maybe be issued by the National Weather Service of Atlanta, maybe a little further east, and also same deal in North Carolina and up in upstate South Carolina as well. And just looking at the future, it's gonna warm up by this weekend. We'll start to see that ahead of this next storm system. So Sunday afternoon, we're looking at all weekend we're gonna be looking at some pretty heavy snow across higher elevations in the Rockies, even into some lower elevations. Maybe Denver, Colorado Springs could get on and could get in on some of that action. But then by next Sunday into Monday, we see that low ejecting into the plains, and we see lots of moist air coming straight out of the Gulf. Classic setup for like a severe weather event in the central U.S. Which you see like an explosion of storms, and we also have another low that goes along that front that gets going, and so we have like 2 comma heads in one here, which is, I mean, that's pretty. This is not a bad setup for severe weather. I mean, the area you'd want to watch is this area, but also a little further north. Looking at 500 millibar winds, for example. You see that trough just digging into the southern plains here, looks pretty good actually. So I mean, I'm thinking, I mean, we could be looking at a severe weather threat somewhere in the central U.S. Now, I mean, how it progresses as it moves east, it's a little uncertain because, and as we see now, that trough just lifts straight up because, well, the east is going to get another ridge just like normal. I mean, we take a look at temperature anomalies, and I mean, the east will be cold for a little bit, but then everything turns warm again. So cold's not going to stay around. It never does. Probably will not stay around or it'll probably cool down again in November for the east, pretty significantly. And then and then in December when it gets just cold enough in the southeast for it to actually snow, like when it starts to get like cold enough consistently, we're gonna get another 8-degree above average month like we did last year. No, it's probably not gonna happen, but I hope it doesn't happen. I'm still angry about last year. But it's okay. I gotta get over last December. But yeah, so I mean, it's gonna warm up a pretty large amount in the east and in the central U.S. which hopefully this pattern will shift back to the east being somewhat cold, or just not. I mean, it's not even looking like the east is going to be warm. It's just looking like the entire country is pretty much going to be above average. Uh, After a while, kind of will average out to being about average or above average. So, we'll see what happens. I'm not really looking into the longer range. I'm not gonna like look into like November, December. I'm not gonna do any of those types of videos because I don't think you can accurately make like a forecast in October for December. I mean, I think you can make a somewhat one. I mean, like a somewhat of a forecast, but like, because I mean now you can just pretty much know it's gonna be like slightly above average in the southeast. I mean, yeah, okay, but not yeah now. I mean, I'm just never gonna do like those types of videos, but don't really know why I'm even talking about that. But yeah, so that's pretty much all I got. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Uh, I should be back tomorrow, or if I'm not, Wednesday, for sure. But yeah, thank you for watching.